there anything better in the world than buying books? I don't think so. This is Michelle's Melancholia, where we read books to fear and shed a tear, and today we have a book haul. I think in November and December of last year I went a little bit overboard with my book shopping. In case you missed it, I already uploaded 2 hauls with books I bought around that time. So today we have my 3rd installment and final one. And there's really not that much left. So let's just get started. And let's start with books I got from eBay. I really wanted to get some Christopher Pike books following the hype for the Midnight Club Netflix show. So I've been stocking a few Pike books on eBay for a while now, and whenever the sellers run some kind of promotion, in this case it was buy 2 get 1 free, then that's the perfect time to get them. So this time I got The Eternal Enemy. Lovely cover with a bloody hand holding a bloody pocket knife. And this is about a girl who buys a VCR, which is so very early 90s. And she discovers that instead of taping whatever TV show she wanted to tape, this VCR records tomorrow's news. And tomorrow's news are not good news. So the question is, can she change her destiny? Can she survive what is meant to be? I also got Wicked Heart, Blood-Covered Beetle on this one. And this is about a serial killer tormented by the voice in his head that tells him to murder the innocent. So I am 100% sure that this one was featured in the TV show. And I think The Eternal Enemy appeared in a list I found online that said that this was also featured in the TV show, but I don't remember a storyline that was like this, so I'm not 100% sure, but I still think it sounds really good. And then unfortunately this seller didn't have another Christopher Pike book I wanted to complete the offer, so I instead chose Halloween Night by R.L. Stine from the Point Horror book series. And this is about a girl who hates her cousin and is planning some kind of prank or revenge to take place during the Halloween party. So I have no idea if this is any good. I know there is a sequel or maybe even a part 3 as well. So I'm looking forward to reading this and deciding if I want to continue with the other ones. Then I went shopping on Etsy. Etsy is a little bit more expensive. Well, not a little bit, quite a bit more expensive than shopping on eBay. So I only go there when I'm looking for something very specific, which was the case this time. The first book I got there is the third pan book of horror stories. And this is a British series that ran all the way back from the early 1960s to maybe like the late 80s or 90s, if I remember correctly. So I now have the first 3 volumes. I read some of these stories here and there, but I'm thinking of going through each of the collections. Maybe I'll make a video series about it. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in watching. And I really like this cover because it has kind of like a creepy yet silly creature. And then I have what is perhaps my favorite purchase in a long time, and it's the Gremlins novelizations. I was planning to read this for Christmas Evil readathon, but I didn't have time because I had to go away and I didn't want to bring any physical books with me. So these are still nicely wrapped in their little plastic bags. And I kind of don't want to take them out, but I also want to read them. I don't know when though, because I already have plans for Garbogust 1.5. So maybe I will wait until November in case novelization November actually ends up being a thing, or for Christmas Evil in July, or for Christmas Evil in December. I don't know, but I'm really excited about them. Then I have the Penguin Classics edition of The Fall of the House of Usher and Other Writings by Edgar Allan Poe. And the reason I got this is because I really want to read more Poe this year, and I have a very beautiful but very heavy and inconvenient hardback edition of his collected writings, and it's just not comfortable to read from those huge books. So I wanted something that was more portable and also that I could just comfortably annotate and all that. So I got this one, and these editions here are really cheap. This was only £6, so something I don't need to be too precious about, I guess. Oh, then I'm really excited about these two. They are both non-fiction. The first one is these, Witchfinders, a 17th century English tragedy by Malcolm Gaskill. Witchfinders is a spellbinding study of how Matthew Hopkins, the Witchfinder General, and John Stearne extended their campaign across East Anglia driven by godly zeal, exploiting the anxiety and lawlessness of the times and cheered on by ordinary folk. They extracted confessions of satanic pacts resulting in scores of executions. So obviously, this being a heavy topic, I was drawn by the fact that in the back it says it's written with sympathy, respect, and deep human understanding, which is what I want from my more morbid nonfiction. You know, it's fine to want to read about horrible things that have happened to other people, but I really don't like it when it comes across as exploitative. I mean, I guess it's fine to find human suffering entertaining as long as we can also learn something from it, I suppose. And the other book is A Natural History of Ghosts, 500 Years of Hunting for Proof by Roger Clark. What explains spectral sightings? Why do we fear the supernatural? Why are some people or cultures more likely to experience hauntings than others? And what proof is there? Roger Clark takes us on a journey of belief with ghosts of every kind. The reason I'm so interested in this is because, as I've mentioned before, I am a complete skeptic, but I like hearing what people who believe consider to be solid proof. And who knows, maybe I will change my mind. Don't think so. Then I finally bought Pen Pal by Dathan Auerbach. In an attempt to make sense of his own mysterious and unsettling childhood memories, a man begins to reconstruct his past. As the games and adventures of his youth become engulfed by a larger story, he finds that it forms a tapestry of unbelievable horror that he never could have expected. I don't think there is a single person who has read this book that does not love it. So I'm just too curious now. I need to know, is this book really that good? We'll see. I'll let you know. And finally, I have a book that was a gift from the lovely Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading, and that is The Art of Baking Blind by Sarah Vaughan. Take 5 strangers with nothing in common except a passion for baking. Add a hotly contested competition and beat to stiff peaks. Heat to just the right degree of tension. Eyes with the bittersweet tale of the iconic woman who inspired them all. Enjoy in snatched bites or devour at one sitting. Relish the exquisite combination of dark and light flavors, the delicious moments and mouth-watering twists. And Kelly sent me these because the book was actually inspired by the author's love of the Great British Bake Off. And I mentioned I love the Bake Off as well. And not only because I actually do love baking, but also because when I first moved to the UK, some of my classmates were discussing it during lunchtime, and I was so confused during that conversation because I was no idea what they were talking about. So I was like, okay, I should watch this show so I can have a conversation with some of my peers. And I loved it. And I actually learned so much about, I guess, just like culture in general here in the UK. So I have very fond memories of discovering that TV show, and now I watch it religiously every year. So yeah, this is definitely a little bit out of my usual, but I'm really looking forward to reading it. It looks so cozy. And that's all we have today. Wish me luck getting through all of the new books I have. Let me know in the comments if you were particularly excited to see any of the books I showed. I want to know if I'm in for a treat with any of them. And I will see you on my next video, which will hopefully be very soon. Goodbye!